everybody? Welcome to episode 32 of Big Apple Battle, a New York baseball podcast. And Ed, we've been a little off on our consistency in recording episodes. We've been doing one like every month here and there, just because life is lifing, like we always say in our primary excuse here on the pod. But I will say, it is interesting to do it this way, and not to make excuses or justify, but you really see the progression with a longer time period between recordings of how a team is actually doing. For the Yankees, it's been pretty consistent. The Mets also pretty consistent, unfortunately. So I don't know. Yes, we're going to be better. I'm going to make that known, but for sure, it's been an interesting kind of approach here.
Well, our consistent inconsistency is paid off in some way, is what you're saying. So that's good.
Yeah.
Consistency, one way or the other. We're finding a way. But no, you're right. We should probably be doing a better job for the fans. But if as you'll see, I'm not wearing my typical Yankee gear, and maybe that's bringing bad luck for us right now because we're playing the Tigers and we're not winning right at the moment. Our ace Garrett Cole, who's looked really sharp so far in the season, not so much tonight, giving up 5 runs before departing for Paul Blackburn. So Mets connection right there. You
There
know it's
is.
not looking good when Paulie B is on the mound, but not Cardi, but Paulie. So anyway, you know what I'm wearing. Got to represent the New York Knickerbockers right now. Something
Shout
we can
out.
all feel unified by. I'm wearing blue and orange. You should celebrate. Got the World Baseball Classic thing on here just to celebrate some World Cup action. We're getting back into the swing of things, the, rhythm of the baseball season, but there's a lot of excitement going on in New York City right now. And as much of that disappointment's coming out of Queens, there is still a lot of excitement to come as far as New York sports go. And again, this has just taken up most of my life too. So sorry to leave you guys hanging, but let's be honest, the Knicks had to take some time and attention once in 53 years, right?
And you know what? The Knicks, the World Cup, there's a lot going on in sports right now. And like watching Mets baseball is one of those things that I feel like is getting lost in translation and lost in the shuffle in New York, which is crazy considering all the momentum and the hype behind the team heading into the season, heading into the Juan Soto era, as we know. Obviously, the Yankees, we know. I'm not going to say the words. I know you want me to say Big Brother so badly. I just
I don't
did.
actually. No,
But,
just
okay.
daddy would be fine.
Daddy?
Yeah, that's good. That works.
Zaddy? What is
Zaddy.
a
I mean,
Zaddy?
preferable Zaddy. I think Zaddy is just like a hot daddy.
Oh, all
Like, oh
right.
yeah, Zaddy.
Oh, I see. Okay. You
I
learn
don't
something
know.
new here every day on the pod. But I will say, nonetheless, I'm not ignoring the fact and the elephant in the room. I'm trying to stay away from talking about the Mets, as much as it might seem that way. It's just, again, it's been busy, but good for the Knicks. We want to celebrate them here on the pod. For New York, it's been longer standing drought without championship. 1973, right? Mets are 86. I'm sitting there bitching about what, 40 years. They're 50 plus. So good for them.
Hey, I was gonna say the only team that's gone longer now. I mean, you could talk about the Nets, but we're not gonna do that. But really, the only team that's gone longer than the Mets now would be the Jets. So
Well,
I
Jets
guess you
aren't,
can
it's
end
not
this
happening
thing.
anytime soon,
I mean, pigs
unfortunately.
are flying this year, man. A lot's happening. Things are getting weird. So I'll just take hell freezing over for once as far as the Knicks are concerned. And hey, man, I haven't seen the city this excited, this lit up, this connected, unified, whatever it might be. And again, it could be just the world celebration. It could just be the Knicks that, everybody around the world knows how big a deal this
Mm.
is.
Hmm.
But I will say it's taken the heat off your boys. So in some ways, it's been a great, a blessing to have the Knicks go this far for Mets fans. And
Yes,
maybe the
and
team itself,
I
might
was
have
gonna
saved
say
some
yes
jobs.
and no because it's funny because I have a friend of mine, big Knicks fan, and we're talking about
Big Nick
yeah,
energy.
talking about for whatever reason a lot of Mets fans are Knicks fans, which I don't think is necessarily true. So also no one's really Nets. I mean, Nets fans, it's Jersey, the Nets. They weren't really in Brooklyn all that long. Like there's not you can't correlate Yankees to Nets and Mets to Knicks. It's not like that. Football
Just because
sometimes, whatever.
Nets rhymes with Mets doesn't mean that's what's
Knicks
happening.
colors,
Yeah.
yeah, Knicks colors, everyone says. But regardless,
The
big Knicks
Jets
guy.
played in the Met Stadium. That's why those are the fans that usually correlate. Just yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. No, I agree with that. But I think it's funny. I was talking to him like, well, I think like you sold your soul for Knicks championships. Now the Mets aren't going for 100 years. You're like, yeah, they were
See,
going to
that's
win
the thing.
anyway.
You wouldn't sell your soul for that, right? But I think a lot of fans would
No,
probably, I don't know, Mets fans might be like, damn, we're kind of close. We're only within like 15 years of that, 13 years of that, that run.
I think so. I
So
don't
I
know
think for a
anymore.
Yankee fan, like I think is Michael K put this out there, right? So it's interesting your friend said that. Michael K talked about it, was like, would you give up any New York championship for the next 50 years if it means the Knicks getting one? And I think Yankees fans, Giants fans, Rangers fans might all say, yeah, but Mets fans, Jets fans, I don't know. You're almost on par with that drought.
Well, there's a big variable that we're missing though. Like a big caveat is like it depends what sport you're primarily a biggest fan of or for, right? Like
Sure.
sometimes you're a Knicks fan, you're a Mets fan, you're a Jets fan, but do you like football more than baseball, basketball more than football?
Right.
Like for
Or do you just love
me,
a team more than anything else, right?
yeah, like for me, like the Rams win the Super Bowl, it's awesome, it's great. My friends are probably listening, laughing right now. I know for a fact, but in general, the Mets for me is the be all end all. You know that. Like I'll lose sleep over that team. They dictate my mood, how I'm feeling in season. Not as the extent of fever pitch with the wallpaper and the whole soap dish and all that good stuff. We know how that goes.
Just the
Um,
lucky undies. Lots of holes.
just yeah, exactly. Great movie though, classic. But
No, terrible ending. Hate it.
I love the ending.
Jimmy Fallon deserves to be strung up for that. How can you, as a Yankee fan, be that guy?
The
How
best
dare
line, well, yeah, it's tough. The best line in any movie is when she runs across the field and he's like, "Tell me one thing: is the grass spongy?"
you? That is
Best line ever.
that is true.
Um,
Yeah.
but
But
I
Ben
guess yeah.
Affleck wouldn't even wear a Yankee hat in Gone Girl, okay? Like wouldn't even wear a Yankee hat. Had to wear a Mets hat. Why? No,
Hey, it was
no.
early in his career. Maybe the paycheck was pretty
He was on
pretty
SNL.
hefty.
Jimmy Fallon was doing just fine. Get out of here.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, he was on SNL then too. Yeah, you're right.
Fake ass fan. Anyway.
Nonetheless, man, like all that being said, I don't even know where we're going with any of that. So we'll bring it back down to earth here on a little bit of baseball talk, not
No,
too
just like your
much.
fandom. So like
Yeah,
where's your fandom lie? Like you're a Mets fan no matter what. So like you're
I'll
gonna
do
look
anything for a
like
championship.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not selling for a Knicks championship, obviously. Yeah.
No, I'll give it back. Oh, that's
Right.
not a popular opinion here in New York.
Rewind the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah. Don't play that in the pod. Don't play that back. Someone's gonna
How
knock
dare
on my
you?
door at 2 in the morning.
The one day we have here to unite, as fans, you can't even hold up your end of the bargain. What good are you?
I can. It's
Go
great for
root
the
for the
city.
Nets. Go back to Jersey.
I was a Nets fan when they were in Jersey, yeah, as you could
Uh-huh.
imagine.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
you know. But I don't have much to say outside of the fact like I love coming on here and like being like, oh, we got to update the people on what's been going on. But for the Mets, it's just been constant, inconsistent play. And we'll get to the Yankees too, because I want to like kind of go back and forth on the pod today. A little different, ask each other questions, yada yada. Little change of pace, make it fun, right? Because not much is fun going on here in Mets land. We're just consistent. On my rant last pod a month ago. Um, too many ups and downs. There has been no sustained momentum. Every step forward seems you're taking 2 steps backwards. You're looking at the stats. It's just ugly across the board outside of Juan Soto for the most part. Honestly, on the offensive end, obviously Carson Bench has really figured it out in the month of June and late May. The kids, right? AJ Ewing showing some promise. Bo Bichette has had his moments and figured it out, but he's still struggling with runners in scoring position overall. And his OPS is still pretty soft to begin with, sub 800. So what are we writing home about there? And the starting pitching, man, outside of injuries and inconsistency, like there's been no one to rely on. Like Freddie Peralta is supposed to be your ace. I don't know what you saw, what he did
It
last
was
night.
not a great showing.
I mean, the night before last night, 15-3 loss, where you give 10 earned runs against the Phillies out in Philadelphia. That's not what you do as a number one. Um,
And a cycle and a three-run or three home run night for the first time in nearly 100 years. So yeah, not really what you want out of the guy. Your big offseason acquisition.
yeah, definitely the wrong side of history. And he's really his ERA ballooned up to like a 4.8 plus, I think, because that rightfully so, 10 earned runs in a start, 2 innings. So he's supposed to be your ace. You have Kodai Senga who came back and still looks like shit and who hasn't figured out, excuse me, he's 0-5, 9 ERA. I don't know how long his leash is. I know he's coming back from an injury, so he's going to have a bit of a leash, but he hasn't been good literally since his rookie season.
Right.
And David Peterson, inconsistent, got beat up last night. I don't know how you keep putting him out there in the rotation. He's struggling. Shamania is up and down. He's not even a guy that you even consider a top 3 or 4 in a rotation, where he's more of like a long relief man. Tobias Myers came back down to earth. So you're running out of options in that rotation. Like Christian Scott's hurt. He's coming back soon, but like he's nothing to write home about. McLean has kind of figured it out a little bit, but it's one guy. Like,
Yeah.
like what are we doing?
That begs the question, do you keep investing in the young arms and just hope for the best, or do you wait for a Scooble, or you know what I mean? Like, do you let Freddie Peralta walk? Do you trade him at this juncture? Do you believe in him in the future?
I
There's so many question marks just there.
It's still early, too early to tell, I think, on Freddie Peralta. I guess. I don't know. But like David Peterson, like he's got to be done soon. Mania done soon. Like there's got to be a way out of these contracts. Obviously, Clay Holmes going down hurt us. He was our best pitcher at the time, so that obviously hurt the most, I would say. And like outside of that, man, I don't even know where you go outside of young guys. Like Jonah Tong was up for a little bit, being kind of a what was his role? What do you call it? When you do an
Distribute. Oh,
no, you
long
do an
reliever.
opener and then he comes in to pitch like the bulk
Oh,
bulk,
like
bulk start.
piggybacking. Yeah,
Yeah,
bulk
stuff like
starter.
that, I guess. Um, but outside of that, dude, there is nobody. So you're gonna have to start calling guys up. You're gonna start making trades. Thinking about the deadline. Like, I know the record is shit. I know where we are is shit. But then you look at the wild card. And this is the funny thing about baseball wild card. You're 5, 6 games out of the wild card.
You never know. Yeah,
So
exactly.
obviously you're still gonna play to win, especially with the fucking uh I'm sure I'm losing the word, but just like the investment you have into this team, right? The how like your payroll and how
Yeah.
substantial it is.
Yeah.
The investment that they've made into these players on this roster, I guess what I'm trying to say is like you're gonna still go for it, in my opinion, if you're 6 out, even though you're 34 and 43 and you can't figure it out and get above water. You tell me, do you think you like where would they have to be by the deadline to still be like, okay, like we're in this? Like, is it 6 games out of the wild card where they are now? If they
Oh,
just
you
hold
could
it?
easily be 5, 6 out and still have it, but you also want a winning record or a 500 record, I would imagine, right? Because
Yeah.
at that point, even if you're 5 or 6 out, it's like without a winning record, there's not much to sort of feel like you're going to build off of, or there's still a big hole to dig out of, right? And I know that it's all relative to your competition, but as we've seen, like the National League Central is going to keep being incredibly tough. Like you
Yeah.
could have as many teams come out of there as, anyone. And we talked about this earlier in the season. There seems to be a fail-safe, in play with this team, sort of like an abort mission, right? Sort of button, right? Any number of guys you can move on from at the end of the year, 1 year contracts. But this is where, and something we'll talk about maybe down near the All-Star break,
Hmm.
where the collective bargaining agreement becomes an issue for you guys because now guys like Bichette, who's as you've said performing better lately, um,
Yeah.
pieces that you might have locked into your team that might have been able to say walk or get rid of, decisions to be made on those starters. Like, do you really want to move forward with Freddie Peralta if he's proving to be, having a hard time here? Do you think he's going to have a Rodon like bounce back in New York? Or do you say, let's move on, get good pieces for Peralta now and invest that money in Tarek Skubal, right? So that's where you have pivotal decisions to make. And I don't know if those necessarily even rely on what your record is for this season or your likelihood of making the playoffs.
Well, that's a good point. I think a lot is going to be decided within the next few weeks leading up to the All-Star break, I would say, leading up to the All-Star game on July 14th. That's going to be on my birthday every year, which is pretty cool. Well, either
Yes,
the Home Run Derby or All-Star game, one of the two, or just not in between,
that's
however it
awesome.
lands. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But I think whatever happens next few weeks is going to be a deciding factor on how hard they go at the deadline because they also, I don't know if you know this, but they have the hardest record in baseball the rest of the way. Playing the Braves and Phillies a bunch, obviously playing the Dodgers. No late night games, but they'll be here in New York. But nonetheless, we already got, thank God, we got our West Coast trips out of the way. That was a lot of them early on, which is crazy, the schedule.
Right.
But I guess my point is like you have the hardest record in baseball. You have no rotational depth. You still have a bunch of injuries. Luis Robert and Jorge Polanco seemingly just disappear off the face of the earth. You don't know what's happening with them. You banked on these young guys that I know we've talked about, and that's the biggest gripe I have still with Stearns is like it's not just the lack of depth in the rotation that we've discussed. Like the bullpen's actually holding its own, which I'm actually really happy about. AJ Minter's back, who looks great. Um, I mentioned Tobias Myers, he's kind of the weak link now, but a guy like Yaskar Brazaban, Luke Weaver's figured out, Brooks Raley, even Devin Williams has, as of late, has been a little bit better. I know his ERA still ballooned up there, but he's 11 for 12 on save opportunities. He's figured it out a little more. It's just again the bullpen's being stretched, right? Because starters aren't going deep, and there's no rotational depth, and obviously injuries you can't control, but you got to prepare for them. And I don't think
Right.
they did well enough. And just quickly back to the offense. I'm going back to these guys because it keeps happening every year. It's Alvarez. I mean, not Alvarez. Well, part of it. He's back from injury, so I'm giving him a little more of a wiggle room, and he's the younger of the bunch. But it is Beatty and Mark Ventos, two guys that they banked on progressing and changing and becoming seasoned veterans and finally stepping into their own. Right? They're fucking awful. Beatty's hitting 219, and he struck out 72 times. I haven't checked against the rest of the league, but that's got to be up there in the top of the league because
Oh yeah.
72 is OD.
Well, like Murakami, I think is up there with like was leading the world and it was almost set a record for a season, but he's injured now, so we'll see. But yeah, that's pretty. It's not great.
And then let me put it this way: that's where he's at. Then you have Mark Vander's in 223 with his OPS at 649. Brett Beatty's OPS at 600. They're playing like every day, man. A
Yeah.
guy like MJ Melendez, who for whatever reason was hot out of the gate, now he's at 111 at bats, and this is where true colors are shown. He's hitting 189 with a 671. Just put in perspective on the offense. We're the bottom five in the league. Juan Soto, 973 OPS, doing what he does. He's figuring out he's hitting 300, 17 home runs, 30 RBIs. Carson Bench just slowly figured it out as a young rookie, which I love. Obviously, our top prospect. Everyone else across the board doesn't have over an 800 OPS outside of Eric Wagaman.
Wagaman, yeah.
who has 13 at bats. That doesn't even count. It's a moot point. Like that, that's bad. That's
Is
really
it
fucking bad.
is it at this point fair to say that Pete Alonso could have been the solution to all of this in some way?
I mean, he's picked it up as of late. He's doing okay.
245 with 18 bombs, 50 RBIs. It's just like
Instead of Vientos, you're winning at least five more games.
and an everyday first baseman, right? Like all these things that I feel like even if you kept one cornerstone, it might have just been worthwhile because like who are you replacing him with? Like the outfield I could kind of get. Nimmo you could kind of figure out, right? But like
Yeah, with the young guys, Benj and Ewing, it's
right.
okay. Would
And
you
you have more
say,
depth there,
yeah,
you
sorry,
know?
I'm just carrying my charger here. Bear
Yeah,
with
yeah,
me.
no, it's all good.
Would you say if they had Alonso, they might have won at least five more games? Is that a reasonable thing
I
to say?
might I might say that. Yeah. And that's like giving him five WAR, which is kind of a crazy concept, but I guess it's really obviously positional, but no. But my point being, I don't know that that would be the case, but I have a feeling. There's just something about the consistency of one guy like that who you can rely on to do his job. It's the way you talked about Soto. You just give, you know what you're going to get when you pencil him into the lineup. And I think those two guys were your drivers. And what let you down in the long run was people not getting on base last year. Now you have the opportunity to get some guys on base, but you don't have the guys driving them in necessarily, right? So
Exactly.
you gave up one to do the other, and it's like cut off your nose to spite your face. And yeah, I don't know. I can't help but feel like that feels like the big organizational fumble in all of this. Even though there are other glaring needs, it's just that might feel like sort of like cutting the lifeblood of something, right?
Well, it's interesting because that was the most obvious one to me. Like the rotation is something that you thought maybe you had enough depth with some of the younger guys, and you thought Peralta would prove out, Sang would prove out, Manaea would prove out, David Peterson would prove out. So it's a lot of banking on guys, and you haven't really seen put up lengthy stretches of success outside of Peralta. Um, but yeah, for me, the most obvious signing and re-signing was Pete Alonso,
Yeah.
right? It was bringing him back in as a starting first baseman, and then having Vientos and Beatty fight for a journeyman spot. I mean, not journeyman, but a utility spot.
Right. You can't carry both of them. Like
No,
one
and
of them
and
has,
they're
right.
and they're playing every day, and they're just dog shit. For I mean, there's no other way to put it.
Yeah, and this is where I look at it, and I think maybe if you're smart and you make shrewd moves, I think why not sell? Why not see, even if you could go on a run even after selling, right? It doesn't mean that they don't believe in you. Sometimes you just have to reorganize something or shift things,
I've seen
right?
it happen before. Yeah,
It happens all the time. And maybe, getting pieces from a team in the NL Central whose, four teams are going to be competing and driving the prices up on those pieces. Maybe that's the move to make right now because you're not far away from being able to retool and be something. It's just that it's all kind of it's Frankenstein put together, right? It
mm,
doesn't feel appropriately assembled.
100%. It feels, and now I'm going back on everything I've said because now it's obviously proofs in the pudding, and we're seeing it in real time. I thought it was constructed well. I'll eat my words. I'll stand corrected. Whatever I got to do because yeah, I don't think it was sustainable at all. Now I'm looking back at it in retrospect. It wasn't
Right.
built the right way. It was banking on a lot of unknowns, a lot of hypotheticals, a lot of maybe they're going to turn out to be what we think they're going to be. Um, a lot of guys who maybe were over the hump that we've discussed who we think are going to now come back and figure it out and not get injured like Luis Robert and Jorge Blanco. And look at them injured, have barely played. Um, so the list goes on. There's not much more I need to say. We'll go to the Yankees here. It's more so just the fact of like it's gonna be interesting, honestly. I'm still watching because like that's what we do as diehard baseball fans until we're mathematically out. We're gonna be in it. I'm going Friday. Mets Phillies, little double date action.
Hell yeah.
All Mets fans, thankfully, and don't have any Phillies with us, so that's good. So that'd be a good time. It's gonna be fun. And right now, I'm 1-0 this year at the game, my girlfriend and I, and maybe if they win again Friday, I'm just gonna have to go to every single game.
There you
Um,
go.
it's
There
very
you
expensive, but a lot of hot dogs. It's not a bad thing.
worthwhile.
Wait,
Oh,
before I go on, do you know the hot dog hack? I'll put everyone on this, which I probably shouldn't do since we have so many listeners on the pod.
that's the way to
Um,
get the listeners.
the hot dog hack.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So, if you go to the actual concession stands, the hot dogs are open air, sitting there with the buns out, easily get dehydrated and dry because they're sitting there again, the cold air, whatever, hot air. It doesn't matter. There's open air is the point I'm trying to make
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Oxygenation.
Yeah, exactly. So, as a kid, I grew up being told that the hack is you always get the hot dog only from the vendors walking around with the sacks because the sacks steam the buns, keeps them warm. They're already rolled up, nicely wrapped, and it's fucking true. Every time you get it soft, it's just a perfect hot dog every time. So, anyone, if you're looking for a good hot dog at a ballpark and you're new to the game, do not go to the concession stands because half the time it is a dry bun, or at least
Yeah,
so you
you don't want
feel.
that crusty ass bread. It is true. And what they used to do is like wrap it in tin foil. So even in the walk back, to your seat, you would get a little bit of steam action,
Oh,
right?
that's a
Even if
great
it came
idea.
fresh.
Yeah.
But they don't do that anymore. Now it's all in wax paper, which is probably healthier for the environment or something. Like, I don't know what the logic is behind it exactly, but it used to be wrapped even from the thing. And, in the 10 minutes it takes to get back to your seat, whatever, 5 minutes, it would still steam a little bit. And then even if it was a little crusty and dry, it would still steam. Now it's like, yeah, consistently dry, breaking in the middle.
Disgusting.
I get the foot long hot dog at Yankee Stadium, and it's always like right in the middle, the bread broken in half. And it's just like the hot dog is still delicious, but yeah, you do want that little steamage.
Yeah, also there's something about unwrapping a hot dog at a ballpark from the foil. Like
Yeah.
it's just
And
something
it's not the
about it.
same foil too. It's like a thinner foil somehow. You know what I'm talking about? It's like not as sturdy at all, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like deli foil.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
deli foil, like it's poorly wrapped. You're sweating your ass off. You're already mad. It's 3-0 Phillies in the
Yes.
first inning, but I got my hot dog, so it's fine. It's all good.
Sweaty hot dog, sweaty tin foil. I love it.
Yeah, that's it. But you know what?
You
On to
soak
the
up the sun
Yankees.
with it. You put that down, soak up the sun through the reflection
Oh
of
yeah,
tin
like
foil.
like you like it's on a car windshield. Well, no,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
protecting the sun. It's not trying to get it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's for you. You eat the hot dog, you got a little bib, now you got a little neck tan.
it's the old guys on the beach with the one strip of sunscreen on the nose. They got the thing out
Exactly.
there. Yeah, just got a nice
You know
tan.
them. You've seen them on the shore.
Look like a boot. Nice and leathery.
Nice and leathery. Just to go to Italy.
But yeah, on the Yankees front, I want to give you some time to speak because I know you're in first place. They're playing pretty good ball. I know right now I'm a little bit of skid, so I'll let you run with it. But you have a lot of promising stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to like. I went to the game yesterday actually for Father's Day. I got my dad
Nice.
out there. So kind of a last minute thing. Spent too much money because this is. I'll kvetch very quickly about like the way these dynamic pricings things go. It's like they fucking. It's screwed up. It's Father's Day. So let's jack everything up to $70, and then the day of it all comes down because no one's paying that price.
Mm.
Stop doing it. Like it's gonna sell out either way. Like what are you doing? All right. Anyway, point is, trying to make your money. I get it. Still got a good deal. Got the standing room ticket, free beer, pinstripe pass. Gotta love that. Feels like a free beer. It's not a free beer. You're paying for it. Anyway,
Feels like one.
Father's Day. We lost. Was not a great game. Elmer Rodriguez came up. It was supposed to be Garrett Cole versus Chase Burns, premier pitching matchup. Chase Burns shut us down. Looked like we were going to get to him early on. Got runners on base, but just not coming through with a big hit. And for a while, we were coming up with those hits. It's just the last few days, it seems like we're stalling just a little bit. I don't want to point to the problem being injuries, but the problem's probably a little bit of injuries, and we're making do with what we got. Our bench is deeper than it's been, so I talk about that. Dominguez is back. He's been playing decently, uh, playing a little bit better outfield defense. Spencer Jones hasn't made himself look too bad. Um, there goes my light.
Your
Oh,
lights
what
you just went
terrible
dark on me.
time. Sucks. Well, I wonder if I can get this back on, or if it's just gonna die on me again.
Is that ring light? You got one going too?
Yeah, I got like this little thing my girl got me. It's like this little square thing. I'll show it to
Oh, dude, I have this. Oh
you.
wait, bro, wait, hold up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same one.
And I love that. I use it on meetings all the time. Look how good we look. Come
It's
on.
great. I know,
Yeah.
but I never know when it's dying, like right now. Let me see if I can get a little plug really
You know what you gotta
fast.
do? You gotta leave it plugged in at all times. That's what I do.
That's really what you gotta do, yeah. I know.
Yeah, it dies every 5 minutes.
It's the worst. I don't know, like, what the hell? What is this technology for anyway?
But while I'm waiting for you, I'll just talk to the people.
Yeah, tell them something.
Well, I want to talk about Paul Goldschmidt, so I'll wait for you. But he's been
Oh yeah, revelation again.
yeah, we can hear you from afar, but he's been a revelation, a guy that honestly you need to perform right now with the injuries. So what he's been doing has been pretty impressive. He's hitting 300, no? 298
Yeah,
or something like that.
at the moment, which is still pretty impressive for the old man, especially when everybody kind of had him pegged as being done last year.
Well, also, not speaking for all Mets fans, but I feel like I would have happily taken Paul Goldschmidt right now with our first base situation. I'd be happy to have him running out there every single day.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like I said, it's been one of those things where you're like, okay, why did the Yankees do this? But then they make that move because again, why not have the reassurance and the insurance, for lack of a better term?
Yeah,
Grisham was kind of a similar signing, right? So a lot of Yankee stuff this year was just kind of not sexy. And I think for Yankee fans, that was not exciting and obviously not something that they wanted to see when you want to win the World Series. But I
mm,
think sometimes the best moves that you can make are the unsexy moves because, hey, what do you need? What's going to reassure or reinforce what you need to do right now,
100%.
And Goldschmidt has proven that. And I think that's what always has made Cashman so good. It's not relying on, you know, the hopes of a Jorge Polanco to play first base, right? He's a good player, but he's unproven. And it's sort of another character guy of like, he's unflappable. He'll do what he's asked to do. Just any job he's going to go do. So he
Yep.
is an unsung hero for sure. And especially when you think about Ben Rice learning first base, right? And him having the year he's having, and to spell him when he needs to because he is such a valuable hitter and a young player at that position. So to have the sure hands, the sure leadership, it's I think some of the stuff that you guys are lacking right now because who's the leader in your clubhouse? Who's the guy that people look to?
Oh,
And
sorry,
I don't
real
mean
quick. Just
to poop on you guys by doing that. Yeah.
no, I know. Red alert. Just red alert.
Red alert! Red alert!
Just Francisco Lindor will be back this week, so who knows what that does? That's a thing. Speaking of leaders, there you go. Just had to
And I
drop
was
that.
actually going to bring up, like, what's that going to look like when he comes back? Is he going to be refreshed, re-energized? Like, hey guys, let's get back to this. Are they going to be inspired? Or
I think so. I'm just saying. I think so.
I hope so for you guys, because I've heard too much of, oh, Lindor and Soto don't get along. Like, how can that be everything, right? They can do their jobs side by side and still be not best friends and still like work together well as teammates, right?
100%.
So, all those things said, I do want to give you a quick update on our offense because we were lacking a little boom boom pow for a little while. Ahmed Rosario just hit a two-run tank. So, thank you to
Hey,
your boys. We got a few guys contributing to our potential comeback here in Detroit. We're down 5-3 in the seventh inning. As again, Paul Blackburn stabilizing that right now. He has, I know we make fun, been a pretty reliable middle relief guy and kind of throw him in and eat some innings.
kind of guy that knows his role. They know what they have to do. Stopgap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we need a little bit more of that as our bullpen has been obviously the weakest link for our team right now. I would kill to have a Luke Weaver back in that back end.
Yeah, he's
Just
figured it out.
just experience wise, yeah. And he's a little bit of a head case, but he knows how to handle it a little bit better than a lot of people in New York. And then I guess going back to what's going on today and kind of like needs and where we might have some issues, right? I guess we can focus on all the positives, right? Ben Rice is leading in so many statistical categories. I think right behind
Killing
Yordan
it.
Alvarez in a number of them. Can't say enough about what he's done. 23 home runs already. Like insane, actually, when you think about how meteoric this guy's rise has been. A lot of folks talking about how we need a catcher and how he could maybe spell what Austin Wells at catcher or JC Escarra, who, by the way, Escarra playing a little bit better lately. I think Austin Wells might be the odd man out, and I think maybe give him the option for now, give him the Volpe,
Mm.
send him down, let him figure some stuff out. He calls a good game, but we have the rotation that you don't need the best called game every time out, right? Like you want rapport, you want a good, obviously situation, battery relationship, no matter what. But Scar has been doing a really great job and is hitting a little better as he comes along. And we just brought up Ali Sanchez, who made his debut with the Mets in 2020 for a little bit. So, veteran presence. He's been hitting close to 300 in his short time. So, you like a little bit of that. Remains to be seen how much he interacts and does well with the pitching staff. Cole and he didn't seem to be on the same page fully tonight, but that could just be an off game.
Hmm.
But we're looking at Ryan Jeffers at the deadline, right-handed hitter from Minnesota. Something you got to get a little bit more production out of that catcher's position, obviously. Volpe situation continues to be a thing. He and Caballero, who gets the bulk of the playing time when Judge comes back, when you have more outfield depth. Stanton possibly, right?
When,
Right
when
now, you're
when
going
are
to a
they due
Caballero.
back, those guys?
So it's still a ways out. So it's not something you can necessarily get too worried about, right? Like, unfortunately, we're still looking at another month for Judge, right? Maybe even longer. I'm thinking maybe beginning of August, right? That would be hopeful,
Yeah.
which is really a bummer. It makes you question World Baseball Classic stuff again, right? How many guys are having bad
Yep.
seasons? I don't want to be the guy to call them to question as I wear the t-shirt,
Of course.
but and we celebrate international competition in our great countries for this World Cup. But beyond that, the Yankees' issues are going to rely entirely in fixing certain holes, plugging certain holes via the trade deadline. Maybe bringing up Carlos Lagrange, right?
He looks
Camilo,
good.
he looks great. Camilo Doval is just too volatile. You never know what he's going to do. Comes in the other night, bases loaded, first pitch, Benintendi grand slam, loses the game against the White Sox. We bounce back and win those games, but winnable games like that, you want to see them locked down a little bit better.
100%.
And the Jake Birds of the world, too many characters, Yarboroughs, like you just have a little bit too much inconsistency, and You're relying on that pitch, that one pitch, that beautiful bender, that sinker, that splitter, whatever it might be, to be perfect every night. And if you can't get that working, you need to find guys that know how to sort of bully their way through that, right?
Yep.
So I think right now the Yankees' issues are either, again, solvable still through the organization, which is a really good place to be, right? Even Ryan McMahon's not performing well, but Rosario's been great, right, for everything he's provided. Um, we do have Jazz who's coming back around, right? Stealing bases, hitting a bit better.
40
Um,
40. Just kidding.
it's possible still 40-40, 50-50, definitely going to be
That's, yeah, it's
off the
crazy.
radar now. But yeah, you could hit 29 home runs in the next half season. Kyle Schwarber's proving that.
Yeah, well, Stanton, I was gonna say too. It's a shame because you kind of knew he was gonna go down eventually. It happens every time with him. Like, what do you expect at this point?
I watched this Instagram video and it's sad because you do. It's his body's just it's overworked, I think, at one point, and now it's, reaping the, I guess, not rewards,
Yeah,
non-benefits.
not the benefits.
But there's this Instagram video of a guy who's like, his whole goal is to hit tanks in like Coors Field or wherever. He's like, I'm recreating a home run that Stanton hit at Coors Field, the longest ever hit, whatever. And he's swinging the exact bat Stanton does, and he's like a couple times, and he goes, "No wonder this guy's elbow's hurt. This thing is impossible to swing."
Yeah, probably like a 38, something crazy.
It was an insane bat, but yeah, and then no knob, like one of the axe handles. I was like, this is an impressive piece of lumber to be swinging. But yeah, and again, Stanton, I don't even think of as like the guy to come back and save us, right? He's not in my
Yeah.
mind that person. Like in many ways, I sort of am okay when he's out because it gives us a chance to rotate more people in our rotation or in our lineup, and then when he comes back, you know what you got. It's almost like an acquisition every year, right?
Mm.
And he's almost always healthy for the playoffs. So I can't. I'm sad for him that he can't play the outfield and be there every day. But in some ways, it's almost helping our versatility right now. Almost a la the hockey teams that do great, right? You have all these great stars, but can't afford to play them because you put one on long term injured reserve or whatever. Just so you can play the other guys. And then when he's ready to come back, you suddenly have this crazy acquisition that you're like, you were already a powerhouse. How are you here? Like, that's not legal. So I'm hoping the Yankees kind of take a little bit of that energy.
Let me make you a trade offer, hypothetical.
All right, let's go.
Brett Beatty and Mark Vientos for Anthony Volpe and
Austin
maybe
Wells.
interesting. I didn't even think about that. I was thinking of starting pitcher, but
I'm thinking just as far as like who we're all fed up with, right? Like we're right. It's
just
like
swap them, see what
the baby
happens.
Mets, the baby Yankees. Like I think in reality, you would come out better in that
I
deal.
think we would too.
Yeah. Like I think Volpe actually, I don't know. It's still New York though.
I think he'll figure it out. We would embrace him as like that fellow, yeah, how we always do. Mets fans and or you guys too. Like Mets fans embrace the ex-Yankee, Yankee fans embrace the ex-Met. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
come here and do better, show them your worth, kind of shit.
I was gonna make a bad joke about how then he'll just develop a cocaine problem and ruin his life,
Well, if he
but
goes back in time, like and goes back to 1986, sure. But like,
I was thinking more like Lenny Dykstra and Keith Hernandez, not Doc and Daryl, but
no, well, Keith,
everybody
Keith,
can.
Keith always has a thing on him, man.
It's always in the mustache.
Yeah, doesn't hide it well. Gary just
Why do
licks
you
it
think
off, licks it right off.
he does it off Gary's face, bald head? He's like,
That's
oh,
why
let
it's
me
the best
shine that up for you.
best broadcast in baseball for a reason. But
Well, that's I really, really want to look into that now.
yeah, take a look. You'll watch tomorrow night now.
Him and his cat, all catnipped up.
Oh, no, his cat died, man.
No, Haji.
Yeah, Haji died before the season started, I think.
Oh no, that's so sad,
I
dude.
know it is sad, but he was an older cat. He lived a good life, but it's sad.
He's
That was his
got too
buddy.
many losses, man. Haji, fucking John Sterling. I can't handle all this.
I know we're getting old. We're getting old, man. It's naturally the
I'm so
circle of
depressed.
life.
I'm so depressed.
It's a beast. It's
It
not good.
is. It really is. But I guess like I want to finish off with another like quick point about a
Please.
player that I think is really impactful to our team and continues to be in ways that we continue to undervalue and underrate perhaps. And a piece that you guys maybe missed out on and probably should have paid more for in the process. Cody Bellinger.
Yep.
That man deserves his flowers a little bit. He's not, leading the team in anything really, but he's just so consistently good with a 275 average, 839 OPS right now. So,
Take that
and I
all day.
expect him to go on a tear, right? And he's not Kyle Tucker, but he's not $60 million, and he's playing a hell of a lot better than Kyle Tucker is. And we're not taking chances on a Luis Robert. We're getting a good, versatile piece that is just consistently again, performs, has good baseball IQ, and just fits really well in this team. So
Well, dude,
I
yeah,
don't know where we would be without him.
that's a great call because you bring him, just speaking on the Mets side for a bit, you bring him in instead of Luis Robert. You have a Soto, a Bellinger, and a Carson Benj out there, and then you bring Pete Alonso back first base. You're winning you're winning 8 to 10 more games, in my opinion. Like I genuinely believe that.
You're in the hunt, I think. And like I think with everything that goes wrong, other things start going wrong. Does that make sense? Like so it's a
100%. It
cascading
feeds off
effect,
each other, snowballs. It's how it is,
domino,
right?
right? All of it, exactly.
It's like you think negatively, negative things happen. You think positively, positive things happen. You play like shit, you play like shit.
Exactly. You can think of the negatives, but you gotta think of what you're gonna do to prevent them from happening. You know, what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah,
Jalen Brunson, baby.
do it.
Do it, win it, come back. 29 points. You can do this.
That's it. That was crazy. But yeah,
But I'm saying if they could do that, man, like this shit, this is what I'm saying. The Knicks were an impossibility, right? As far as any New York sports fan is concerned. So if you're gonna believe in any year, perhaps this is the one. You just got to get a little creative and find a way to get out from what's, kind of crushing you right now.
yeah. I mean, the division's long gone because the Braves are the best team in baseball. You're 20 games back or whatever the hell the number is already, which is insane in June. We've
They can
seen
survive that.
14 games back collapses happen. That's because the Mets are the ones in first. Nonetheless,
I mean, look at the Phillies, right? They made a move. And I don't even think that was all Mattingly. I think it was just something changed, right? You got some pitching healthy. You got some things going the right way. Guys got going.
but they keep
And
sticking with Mendoza, so I don't know. I don't know. It's
that's what I'm
something.
saying. I'm not blaming the manager. I think it's actually just perhaps a moment that could come and something happens.
I think
But
Lindor, this is the moment. This is the line in the sand. This is the 2 weeks before the deadline where you see if you go 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 11 or whatever the hell it is. Hardest schedule in baseball. And then you bring back your Cespedes and you're good to go.
I was like, can they bring him back?
Just like 2015.
Is there I guess this is a good sort of thing to wrap it up on a little bit
Hmm.
because you got to look forward a little bit, but are there moves that you would want to make now, or is there something you would want to see from this team? I guess these are two different questions. What do you need to see from this team to believe they have a chance this year? And that could be winning X amount of games by certain date, anything. What do you
I think
need to
it's
see?
it's
And
simple.
then second one is what would you need to possibly acquire? And is that even, if that's the question, is it an acquisition? What do you need to see and what do you need?
I need to see consistency. I need to see improvement in hitting runners in scoring position, as always, every year. I need to see some starting rotational length, meaning that these guys go deeper than they have been. But at the end of the day, it's simple. It is consistency. It's playing tough, scrappy baseball day in and day out, which they haven't done. Some days they show up, some days you could tell they're flat. You have big names in that lineup, you have big names in that rotation, and they just are not consistent, not proving to be who they are or who they're supposed to be or who we've known them to be. Um, so for me, what they need is obviously two, not one, two starting pitchers to run out alongside Peralta, McLean, and then a mix of whoever you want your fifth to be, whether it's Sangha, Manai, or Peterson fighting for that spot, or you make a trade and you're dealing those guys off or you're dealing something because now I don't have any ties to them. And then I think um, you got to do something about the Beatty and Vientos situation. You're not making the playoffs waiting on Jorge Polanco to come back, running out Beatty and Vientos, maybe Ronnie Mauricio. Zach Short somehow is back on this team. I just noticed he pitched in the 15-3
No
game, which
way.
is hilarious.
That's crazy.
Right? Like at some point, there's no more stop gaps. Who the hell is going to be your starting second baseman? Oh
Right.
well, I'm sorry, that's wrong. You're starting first baseman. You have Simeon,
Mhm.
who's honestly Simeon. He hasn't been good, but he's played like every day. I will give him that
Yeah, there's somehow this thing about a guy like that where even when they're not performing quite as well as you want them to,
respect.
you appreciate again the consistency, reliability, and knowing that like he's going to do his job. And that again, sometimes that's leadership enough, right? But you need more of those guys to do that right now and
But
also perform.
yeah,
Like,
I still would take someone over him. I would still take a whole.
yeah,
I would take a whole new right side of the infield personally.
yeah. How about Jeff McNeil and Pete
Oh,
Alonso?
Nemo?
Oh, yeah, well, Nimmo, but he's up center, you know. I figured Pete Alonso and McNeil would be two
No,
additions you'd want to make.
oh yeah, no, McNeil sucks. He's only 230, three home
I
runs.
mean, still a little better, but
No, I know. But at the end of the day, it's two things: consistency, and I think actually doing something to build some momentum here and build out some. Just show up to play better baseball every day. I just feel like they're just not. I don't know what it is. You could tell when a team is not just flat, but like very it's not one unit. It's not cohesive. Like in baseball, we know it needs to be kind of a well-oiled machine. Everything is working. Everything is plugging and chugging. Your starters are going deep. Your hitters are taking good at bats. Lengthy at bats, fighting off tough pitches, hitting with men on base, runners in scoring position, being clutch. Your bullpen is being able to actually show up and deliver and not blow saves and not blow seven, eighth inning setup rolls. Like
Make
it's a
decisions easy. You don't even have to think at that point when a team's good enough to win. You just know who's coming in when and doing what they need to do.
exactly. So all I'm trying to say, my long-winded approach here is simple. If they're in it by, I would say, the All-Star game, meaning that they're sub 5 games out of the wild card, maybe 5, 6 games below 500, even then, I still think they'd be thinking about making some moves because you never really know what could happen after that, especially if Lindor comes back, especially if you bring some starting pitchers and there's some momentum, especially if you're on like a win streak heading into that All-Star break or heading into the deadline, especially. Like you see teams who are like 5, 6 games under who win seven in a row going into the deadline, it changes the whole approach
Hmm.
for the
Yeah,
front office. So
there you go.
we'll
Get
see.
hot at the right time.
We'll see. I mean, I don't have much to ask you because you guys are fine in good spots, waiting for guys to come back, but maybe just again bolstering the catcher position and maybe just it doesn't hurt to have depth in general at the deadline. So I'm sure you guys will go that route too.
Yeah, if anything, the last, bow on it for me is Will Warren and Ryan Weathers struggling a little bit lately.
Mm,
Not really much of the season. Warren had his worst start recently, but generally they've been reliable. So I could see the Yankees moving in a direction of putting those guys in long relief roles just to get a little bit more length, 2, 3 innings out of those guys to help lengthen their bullpen in general. And you're going to get Max Fried coming back. You're going to have Cole, obviously, the rest of the season. You're not going to be hurting for pitching rotational depth one way or the other.
mm.
So I could see it being that they even want to add somebody, maybe a more reliable fifth starter. I don't know, but not a Tarek Skubal. That would ruin the game plan. Doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, as we said, got to address some things, but you can rely on most of our organizational depth for the moment. I do think that they might go for like a Luis Rise, somebody that can get base hits. Just
Mm.
they might need one more bench piece as currently constructed. So we'll get to that point when we need to.
I think it's all good stuff. I think a lot again is going to happen in the next 2 weeks. That's really going to give us our tell into what both sides are going to be doing, and hopefully we get another pod in sooner or later, and we could kind of report back. That's the goal
Oh
here,
yeah.
and then we could give some people. So maybe some trade deadline not recommendations. I wish we could give recommendations. Trade deadline observations and what we think might happen and what's to come.
We can call them recommendations. Well, yeah, listen, somebody might get it all the way up to Stearns for you, and
You never know.
you'll be the one to celebrate and be like, that
Fellow,
guy,
my fellow Jewish brother.
the BAB. He knew what was up.
Those guys get none of the credit.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
Ed, I know you got to run. So with that, guys, that's a wrap for episode 32 of the Big Apple Battle, a New York baseball podcast. Congrats again to the Knicks. All kidding aside, that is a huge accomplishment for them. No one saw it coming, so good for them. Good for Brunson. Good for the city in general. We'll be back. Still a lot of baseball to be played. I say that every week, every month. I say there's 100 games to go. Then there's 40, and then there's 20, and then there's 10. But until you're mathematically out, Ed, we're watching baseball all fucking day.
Switch it up like you're running the offense through Cat, baby. Go New York, go New York, go.
We'll be back with you guys shortly, and LGM.
Get wrecked.
This ball is crushed. Man, what a shot.